there is, even though no criminal history of convictions, we do have serious substance abuse history that's listed here. How old are you now?
37.
Okay, from the age of 12 to 10 years ago. So that would have been about 10 years in length daily for a decade.
Yes, sir.
That's true?
Yes, sir.
10 years ago. So about 8 years.
Yes, sir.
Then synthetic marijuana.
Yes, sir.
When you were 18.
Around that time, yes.
It says date of last use, 18 years of age. And you reported that your primary drug of choice was cocaine. You used the substances because, quotes, you didn't want to feel. I don't understand that. What does that mean?
The cocaine would numb any sort of emotional feelings. So I used it to kind of just medicate myself to, I guess, live. If that makes sense. To just kind of medicate myself to try to be in an okay mood or happy mood. Is what I thought at the time.
Mm-hmm. According to the probation office, although the recommendations in the summary portion of this pre-sentence report states that although you reportedly took full responsibility, your written and verbal statements minimize your conduct. You state, according to this, it was highlighted you initiated the act and that the victim was okay with it, and that you described the behavior, which is what jumped out from my highlighting that I read in that, because all of that is inconsistent with the law.
Yes, sir.
It's not the way the law works. And also, it goes on to state that investigators recovered text messages in which you acknowledged that could be interpreted as attempts to influence or manipulate her. I'm not sure what that really means. I tried to figure out what that was in all of this. Can anybody elucidate that for me? I don't understand. What did you mean by that, sir?
I'm not sure what it's referring to.
I think it's just referring to the communication between he and her in the sense that opened up activity for future dates.
All right. Are there any objections to this pre-sentence report?
No.
And then it is, again, made a part of the record for all purposes. Is it clear to you with someone your age?
Yes, sir.
When did that become clear to you? Because it obviously wasn't clear to you when this pre-sentence report was prepared, which wasn't that long ago. I mean, these responses are really flippant.
Yes, sir.
It's ignorant to the law, but it's casual.
Yes, sir.
To you, of you.
Yes.
May have been willing to do, they cannot consent to this legally because, and you're the adult. What?
I was friends with her mother. We were all in a fellowship group, which was 12-step.
In April of 2024, how long of a period of time did this actually occur?
It was just around that time.
A few months, right?
Months?
It wasn't long. I couldn't tell you exact time. But it wasn't maybe 2 months, 3 months. It was very short.
How did all of this end? Was it reported? Did the police get involved and that's what stopped it?
Someone saw some messages that I think a diary
It was a
that
diary.
the victim was writing, and they reported it to her parents or an adult.
That we're looking at is in between 2 and 15 years. If we look at the high end of that and say 15 is where we land, and he's going to come out of prison as a 48-year-old. He's going to come out of prison, detached from society, with a fractured view on everything, trying to reintegrate. That's still a fairly young individual trying to find his way into our community. And the question is, do we want that coming out of prison at that stage when we have an opportunity to rehabilitate through programming, through guidance, through steps that are available in community supervision situations? Part of the packet which have been turned over to the court is multiple reference letters, many of which are from his church, where he's taking part in recovery programming, which involves him taking responsibility and discussing publicly his shortcomings and his crimes and his and correct his behavior. And
When you know how to say no, it's hard to say we're going to put you in a program and reprogram your brain to say you don't have that attraction. So again, the state is asking for that 15-year prison sentence.
Something that is curious that I don't understand on his substance abuse history. Just states that you were using marijuana from 12 years of age, cocaine from 15 years of age, and the date of last, and the frequency became daily. And the last date of last use was 2016. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's 8 years before these events, correct? That's what this is on. 29th, 2024, April of 2024. So you quit using drugs, according to your statements, 8 years before these events.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then the synthetic marijuana was last used when you were 18 years of age. So you're 33?
Yes, sir.
Well, that would have been 15 years ago.
Yes, sir.
You can't say that the drugs caused you to do this, can you?
No, sir.
No. That wouldn't be an excuse anyway. Well, somebody slipped you the drugs, because voluntary use of illegal drugs is not an excuse for committing crimes. But I'm going to give you an opportunity to say whatever you want to say if you wish.
Yeah, thank you. Trying to be as honest as possible. I'm aware of that now, and I apologize. I didn't mean to say it in that manner. I just wanted to state that I wasn't forcing myself upon anybody. Regardless, I do understand that she is I carry that.
Room over 20 years, and me as a lawyer, they didn't occur in an environment where they were placed seemingly under duress, can be manipulated, and their decisions are still learning. You, however, you were an adult.
Yes.
You had the responsibility to show self-restraint, which you didn't do.
And you are correct. I didn't do that. I couldn't talk about it at the time. It was very difficult to open up about that or even remove myself. And unfortunately, once this happened, it came to light. Of course, everybody went away, and at that point, I needed help, and I reached out, and it brought me to church. It brought me to people who have accepted
You've
me.
never been to church before?
No, sir.
Never in your life?
As maybe visiting with other people, but to actually practice.
What was it about that you thought wasn't contemptuous or wasn't sinful or wasn't illegal?
It was all of that.
It was.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But if you knew better, why didn't you act correctly?
At that moment, I decided to follow my urges.
All right.
If I'm being honest.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing to be.
And so when I went to these people from the church, I came with all that shame because I was tired of not being able to.
When did the shame come across?
The shame has always been there.
You mean when you were committing the?
And at the time, I didn't really understand it, but I just felt like something that bugged me, probably due to being exposed to it. I was very confused. I didn't understand what was okay.
Wait, you thought putting?
No, sir.
Well, that's what you're accused of doing and what you pleaded guilty to.
Yes.
And then place.
Not okay.
Well, you knew that at the time.
Yes, sir.
Look, every case comes before this court, and we have to weigh how serious the circumstances are. All right. And let me just ask you this. How important is the innocent?
Important. To the utmost.
Just important?
The utmost.
Well, you took that away.
Yes, sir.
Then to lose her innocence. Unless it's her fine. First, there is no force but intimacy. You made this whole act ugly.
Yes, sir.
Which is the gift that our Creator gave so that we could procreate, continue to exist on and on, generations. Years in prison. Your attorney has been able to fashion not only an agreement where all of these cases, whatever, number one, it's now limited. It doesn't have a possible maximum length of time. It's less than that. It's up to 15 years in prison. And all of those would be not added separately, but would be running concurrent. Plus 5 cases, 5 other crimes alleged against you would be dismissed. Okay. Then each of these offenses are separate acts which could have run concurrently on top of each other, which would have certainly added up to several lifetimes. Well, Mr. Jeffries, the good Lord, knows how to handle problems, and he does it responsibly. All right. Anybody else want to add anything, please?
Nothing further from the state judge?
All right.
All right, if nothing further, I'm going to find in each of these cases, that's cause numbers 24 CR 2065, 2066, and 2067, as Mr. Zambrano, Alberto Zambrano, you were charged with the second-degree felonies of second. You pleaded guilty in each of these cases voluntarily. You were mentally competent to do so. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading guilty. There's sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea from State's Exhibit 1 admitted in each of these cases, which was your confession of and understanding of rights, admitting to guilt. I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in each of these 3 cases. I am following this agreement. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 15 years in each of these cases. These will run concurrently. You must now register as and I believe this will be required of you for your lifetime. Two things. I wish, number one, you didn't do this. Somebody could have, you would have realized the right choice. But number two, you were grown up, you knew better. I am more sorry and feel sad for the child. A loss of innocence. Shouldn't have been forced like this. It was inappropriate. It was illegal, and it carries with it severe sanctions. Anything else to add?
Nothing further from the state judge.
We are in recess. You were taken into custody, sir. I will dismiss those other 5 cases. You need to leave the room. You need to leave or you will be held in contempt of court. Thank you, please.